Before you watch the video, please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to watch more of my videos and that you don't want to miss out on. And if you want to follow my social media, check out my literature, art, and comics. All links will be down in the description below. Ritual of the Seven Sins, written by Mr. Nailbrain75. Have you ever been hurt by someone that you thought you could trust? Ever wished that you could have seen it coming? That if you could have seen the person for what they truly were, the evil, soul-sucking jerk that they were? Well, there is a way. Now, before you say anything, no, this is not some sort of blood sacrifice to the Lord of the Underworld. The devil has no such use or desire for the killing of a random creature, and if he did, don't you think that he would merely do it himself? However, I wouldn't recommend that performing this ritual for fear that if anything goes wrong, I'll leave it to your imagination as to what horrors you'll unleash upon yourself. Instead, I advise you to stop reading now and never ever come back. But if you are truly serious, as you must be if you have bothered to listen up to this point, there is a way. You will need the following items: a container of salt. Any old stuff from your local store will do. Just make sure you have enough. You will require a match or flint lighter, a large sheet of paper, and pencil with which to draw. Don't worry either about having to memorize ancient Amoramic symbols or Latin symbols or words. And finally, and most importantly, an item of great sentimental value to you. I cannot stress how important this last item is for several reasons. Foremost being that the ritual will not work without it. Now, what this item is doesn't matter, as long as it means a lot to you as a person. Family photos of special events are recommended if it was an occasion etched into your memory. If you have a lucky pencil case or something similar, that's also perfect. Avoid items you have many of, or that you would have little to no problem giving to any but your closest friend. Now for the ritual itself. It is best if you can find a place alone, although not essential. But then again, if you don't want a family member walking in on you, doing what must appear to them as some insane ritual of the occult, then yeah, you may want to avoid doing it in somewhere where you can be undisturbed. You should ideally get there at 11:30 p.m. and make sure that you are bearing no religious icons. I give it great honor to call it a creature, but it is the only word I can think of. Won't see it as a deterrent and more of an insult. It's the equivalent of some random dude breaking into your house and waving his junk in your face. Best case scenario, it doesn't appear. Worst case, they'll find your remains splattered all over the walls. So no crucifixes, no stars of David, or anything which represents a faith. Even if the religion isn't real, like one from a video game or movie, is a bit of a gamble. So best just avoid it altogether. Next, you must pour the salt in a circle large enough for a person to stand in with relative comfort. Make sure it is a complete circle. Any breaks in it could prove disastrous. Then take the pencil and write a name on the piece of paper and place it in the circle. Now light the flame and hold it in your left hand and your object in your right. As the clock approaches midnight, repeat the following phrase: I turn from the Lord who would hide the true nature of his creation to one who will reveal to me the truth hidden within the lies. Then say the name on the paper before continuing. To thee I offer a gift of friendship. Place the object in the circle as your gift in the circle. Then wait until our clock strikes midnight and blow out your candle so that the dark consumes you. Count to 13 quietly and then relight the candle. If all has gone to plan, there should be a person standing in the circle in front of you. Don't worry, they won't dare hurt you, for whatever they would do to you would be inflicted tenfold upon them. Yet, you won't feel entirely right either. Despite being divinely beautiful, the person would seem to exclude an order of pure wrongness, as your instincts scream at you that this thing does not belong on this world. You will feel icy cold and unable to move, and it should be unable to hear much over the drumming of your own heart. Then the person will introduce themselves as by the name you wrote on the paper, and that they accept your generous gift, and that they wish to repay you. Politely nod and say that it is not necessary. They love manners, until they say, "Oh, but I insist." You will feel dizzy and fall asleep only to find yourself in a strange maze when you awaken. It will be overgrown with roots snaking out across the path, and that sense of wrongness will feel stronger, hanging over you like a fog. Now the real test begins. Stay calm and follow the path until you reach a chamber of sorts. Inside you will find a grand feast lay out before you, including all of your favorite foods and drinks. People will be singing merrily and will insist that you come and join them. No matter how mouth-watering it smells, don't take a single bite. The moment you do, a nagging, aching hunger will fall upon you. No matter how much you eat and eat, you will never be able to shake the inescapable hunger, and you shall be stuck in an endless cycle of gluttony until you literally, and with unimaginable agony, burst under the weight of all that food. Walking into the next chamber, you will discover no people but a vast treasure trove. Everything from jewels that would make those of the Queen of England seem like a child's dress-up set, and gold statues all the way to the latest in advanced technology, from the newest, fastest car to the latest computer system. Don't even think about touching it. It's what he wants you to do. The moment you deliberately touch anything, even a single penny, you will feel your arm go numb and heavy. With horror, you will have just enough to realize what is happening before your body turns to solid gold, an utter lure for the next greedy soul to enter the room. Assuming you made it into the third chamber unmolested, you should feel incredibly wary for no seemingly apparent reason. I advise you to get the heck out of there as soon as possible. No matter how comfy it would feel to simply close your eyes for a second, it is the worst thing you can do. You will feel like your muscles weigh like a ton, and may even hear soft, gentle lullabies on the wind. But to fall asleep here would be never to wake again from our dreamless sleep. Don't get me wrong, you would not be dead, but neither would you truly be alive. You would be falling endlessly in a black void until the end of time and the heavens fall. The fourth room will be almost bare, bar from a few people. The moment you enter, they will start snickering and jeering at you. They will do the things that you personally find insufferable. They will poke you with sharp objects, call you names, and tell you how worthless they think you are. Just block them out and walk on, for those that succumb to their anger will be forever locked in that moment of inflamed emotion, unable to feel anything but raw hatred until you are little more than a savage beast with instincts to rip and tear. No sooner than have you entered the fifth area than will you be confronted with a vast crowd of adoring fans all screaming your name. People will revel in your every movement and beg that you tell them of how you escaped the previous rooms. Nations will practically bow to you, and armies will march at but your slightest command. Anything you create, no matter how badly made or written, will be an instant sensation of people will feel compelled to give you stuff. As easy as it is to fall into a false sense of security, I advise you to move on as soon as possible. The longer one stays, the more they will begin to suspect that not everything is as it seems. They will see a knife under every cloak and an assassin in every shadow until their once great pride has reduced them to naught but a shivering wreck of paranoia and madness. The next room should resemble an ornate bedchamber, with the smell of perfume heavy in the air. Lying on a bed will be several of the most physically beautiful and alluring people you will have ever seen. How they look varies greatly on whatever most attracts you. Different people have described anything from long-legged women with enormous breasts and flowing hair to men with perfect six-packs and rippling muscles. In sultry voices, they will ask you to come to the bed for an evening of romance while they grope your body, trying to find a way to remove your clothing. You must politely decline and do nothing to provoke them. If you give in to your lust, or indeed give any such sign, they will keep you in there for eternity as a plaything, this for which they will perform all kinds of perverted tortures that even the most filthy human mind would find horrifying to behold. Finally, you will find yourself in an empty room. Standing in front of you will be the figure from before, although the sense of wrongness should feel greater. They will stand before two doors with a smile unnaturally wide. They will congratulate you and ask you which gift you wish to receive. The first will be through the door on the left. This will send you back in time when before you commit the ritual. You would have no knowledge of what transpired and would be promised a life of blissful ignorance, so much so that no one will be able to hurt you. Do not walk through this door. He wants you to. He is counting on your envy of the possible gift of bliss. Choose the door and you will have blissful ignorance, for you shall no longer have any soul or intelligence, reduced to little more than a husk. Once you have walked through the door on the right, you should wake up in your empty room, and yet you will feel strange from that day forth. You will be able to smell a lie before it is even spoken, and will be able to tell a person's goals at but a glance. However, this is also a curse, for never again will you be able to look at your loved ones in the same way, for fear of discovering their true nature. There is a reason some people choose to be pariahs on the edges of social groups, and if you pay attention, you would see us for what we have been through and no fear. Because for us who have experienced true evil, nothing is hidden.